Here we go, we've got differential crack here, opening up. Very typical of North Texas, where the buildings move on the expansive soils. There's an old one here, it's been repaired. There's a new one starting here, running along. So there's continuous movement in this area. Have a previous repair here, prior repair. Looks like water has got into the soffit area, and the trim board is we got soffit damage here and trim board damage caused by water all the way along here. Looks like this has been repaired. This is a new addition sometime in the past. Didn't do a very good job. It's bigger than the other one here, and you can see where the paint is now coming away. Continuous water penetration into this area. There's some water damage on the end here, caused by penetration, probably into the end. Very common to find these rotten on these style of buildings. A bit more penetration here. Prior repair to a crack here. There's more water damage at the trim boards up here. Water damage here, water damage there. So that's at the front elevation, quite a lot of water damage. Now this light here doesn't have any caulking around it, and it should do. This door's been newly painted. We have soffit vents here, but they're open. Missing covers, bubble covers from the outlets. The right elevation. False window. No telling whether it was a window originally. I can't imagine it was anything else but a window. Here we've got cracking down the walls, been repaired. Another cracking down here. The light here is loose. Now we've got water damage to the trim work here, and it looks like a water entry point here. You see how the roof comes down? Well, as water flows around there, water is, believe it or not, it's sticky, and it's actually going to get drawn into this area here and could get under the roof there. So there's a need to make sure there's some flashing up there. I can't get access to it, I can see from here, but when we go on the roof we'll have a closer look. Missing caulking around the light fixture here. Air conditioning unit is not level. That needs to be leveled. Going out of level actually causes them to deteriorate. They don't last quite as long as they should. Isolator box, which is on the wall up here, it's not corked around it. It's going to allow water into it. Now we have runoff from this valley, and the valley runoff is coming down onto the grade here, and look, it's undermining the foundation. You can see the hole here. That's a good reason why you should have gutters. We do not have any anti-siphon devices on. Again, previous repair to the wall due to differential settlement. This is a continual process in North Texas. And differential settlement here. Okay, now we're going to go and look. Roof inspection. Now here you can see the shingle is broken away. The shingle broken away here. You can see it's broken. The general condition at this part of the roof is poor. You can see here we're losing granules, and also the actual tar. This roof is in this area and perhaps over the whole of the roof. And just observed it from the ladder. I'm going to get on the roof in a minute. I'd say that the roof is aged and in need of replacement. Let's go and have a further investigation. Got another missing shingle here. Yeah, so we have loss of granular coverage, and also we're losing the bitumen, and we're showing up the fiberglass, the underlying fiberglass of the building. We have some tree damage here. Extensive tree damage at the left-hand elevation. This whole area is going to be leaking. You can actually see we're through to the underlayment. We have damage and water damage, and then we've had some extensive repairs, attempts at repairs. Almost certainly this area is going to be leaking. Don't believe it, it's covered in paint, it looks like it's okay, but it's not. It's going to be leaking. That's certainly got to be repaired professionally. It's not. With a new mast installed, they've left the old one in place. That's going to be a source of leakage into the actual roof area. It should be removed, and the hole where the pipe passed through should be repaired and fixed, and then shingled. We have an aerial that's been attached to a vent. That's wrong. These vents can be moved and broken by attaching aerials such as this. So we have extensive loss of coverage of the of granules on the shingles at this elevation. You can see here we've got a nail that's actually popped up and come through the shingle and damaged the Here we have another shingle that's missing. Nails are shown, it's broken. That is a leak just waiting to happen. And we have poor caulking around the vent here. Almost certainly going to get leaks into the attic around this area. Chimney coping is in very poor condition. You can see that concrete that's been laid across the top has come away, and now you can see that the water is penetrating and breaking up the actual covering, the coping. This makes for a very poor chimney, and this is only going to deteriorate further unless it's repaired. This whole area, top here, it's called the coping. It's got to be removed, rebuilt, and a chimney cap installed. Without a chimney cap, water is going to get into the flue. It will damage the inside of the chimney and actually can lead, believe it or not, to a fire. You think water, but it actually causes a problem with the acidity of the soot, and at some point when it dries out, it can actually start a You see the coping here, how loose it is. It's all going to come away, but more here. See the debris down here. Around the chimney we've got an attempt to seal, give a water seal here. It's not going to work. This will be leaking inside the chimney now. We have a nail head coming through here, and we have lifting and broken shingles here. You really have to get this roof repaired. You can see there's lots of nail pops around here. It's deteriorating, and I would highly recommend, before you go to escrow, you make sure you can get it insured in this condition if you can't get it repaired prior to moving. This is a piece of shingle I found laying on the roof, and I think I know where it came from. So as you walk along this roof, I can see it really is in terrible condition. Well, I thought it came from there. Yes, it did. No, it didn't. That doesn't fit. Oh, I can see where it come from. It's that one of those pieces down there. A large tree in the front yard. Large trees are not good. The window in this bedroom cannot be opened, so there's no escape in a fire, no egress. This window cannot be opened. This window can't be opened either. Look in this one. This one can. But it's all been painted over, so the lock doesn't work. So there's egress from the master bedroom. Is it the master? What have we got here? Yep, here's the master. But there's no egress from the two bedrooms here. There's no sheetrock ceiling in this garage. I don't know whether there was one originally. Normally there are. We see it's got manufactured trusses, but the concern is here. You see, this is the blocker between the two attics. The other side of there is the attic to the house, and there's no fire break. Now, the major cause of fires in houses is automobiles in the garage, and the fire gets into the building by firing through the actual attic itself. This is the AC controller. It's not operational, so I cannot run the furnace or the air conditioner. Now, the air conditioner I can't run anyway because the temperature outside is below 60 degrees, and that can damage the components in the compressors. But I cannot run the furnace today, which is a great shame. I could do with it being warmed up. We have a slow drain in the guest bathroom. You can see here we've not got any drainage going on really at all. Very, very slow. So that probably due to a blockage in the actual P-trap. Almost certainly builder debris has got down there and has blocked it, but that will need to be cleared. You need a plumber to do that. This is the master bathroom. There's the cabinet. You see there's a big hole in the sheetrock behind here. That should be filled in. You don't want things like that open. The plumber did that. He fitted this all up. This is in the master closet, and we've got an old panel. And this old panel is a Zinsco. And really it shouldn't be open like this. You see it's all open, and we've got wire nuts. What they've actually done is they've rewired it, and it's now run outside. But this should have been removed completely or covered in. You don't want wire nuts and stuff like this exposed. Certainly not in a cabinet held together by a little screw like that. I now doubt whether this was a professional job. It's not good, don't like it. This is the main box we're looking at, and as far as I can determine, there is no ground to the box, so it's not earthed. As far as I can determine, there's no access to the attic above us. That means I cannot look at the ducting, and I cannot determine the level of insulation in the room. Now, it would have had access at some point, and the access point most likely would have been in one of these closets. Normally where you find it, believe it or not, is in the master closet above the panel. The panel originally was in here, it's now been moved to the outside. But there's no access to it at all. We've got a vent there, but I don't know whether that vents into the attic or vents out externally. Even if there's an external vent, I can't determine it unless I get in the access to the attic, but it's there. There's no attic access here. None in here. None here. Now, attic access is critical. Without it, you cannot check for mould, you can't check for ingress of water through the roof itself. You cannot do a lot of things. You must have attic access. And I'm wondering whether or not access was here at some point in one of these rooms. Now, up here, we're in the garage now, I could see, I could see that there's a platform, but it's not good enough for me to get in. I can't crawl through there, and it wouldn't be any good for any service personnel either. At some point, the access to this attic has been covered up, I would say, because it would have originally been installed somewhere in this area. So, no access, it's got to be installed. Some way of getting inside that attic has got to be available for service personnel also to look at the insulation levels. At the moment, it's almost impossible to be able to determine the amount of insulation that's in there. I can see a little bit up here, but not enough. This is the damper. There's the damper lever, and it's not possible to open the damper. Generally this damper is in really poor condition. We've got a lot of rust here and a lot of debris. You really need to have this damper loosened and opened, and then I highly recommend that you have it inspected by a chimney sweep. These chimneys are a major cause of fires if they're not actually in good condition. And this chimney, there's no way of checking it. Only a chimney sweep will actually have the proper camera that can go up there. I've had a look down from the outside and you'll see it, but it doesn't tell me when I'm looking down right at the top what's going on in this area above me, and I can't see because I can't open the damper. We're in the master. We have a running toilet, and actually the toilet doesn't flush properly. There's something wrong with the sewer system. Hopefully when we put the camera down we will find whatever's there. The water heater and furnace. So we have rollout here. We have a missing sediment trap. And we've got an asbestos pipe up here. There's a ground to the actual water heater, but there's corrosion at that ground. What that actually indicates is a leak to ground. That's acting like a battery. That's what's happening there. We have severe corrosion at the pipes. I'm not going to touch this water heater. They're quite prone to springing leaks, and there's no safety pan, and it could take the carpets out if it starts to leak, and there's no way to stop it. There's 50 gallons of water in here. Actually no, it's 40 in this particular one. The vent hood here, it's loose. That should be sealed. Temperature pressure relief valve doesn't work, that's jammed. So all in all, the water heater is past its service life. I'm not going to run it. It's in very poor condition. I wouldn't recommend its use whatsoever. You've got to have this replaced. And while you're at it, you need that pipe, which is asbestos, replaced. This is the filter in the water heater. Sorry, in the furnace. You see, it's actually distorted, bent. It's incorrectly installed. It's probably loaded. I'm not going to take it out, but it looks like it's never been replaced in years. This is the conduit supply to the furnace. Look, it's moving around. This is actually just loosely strung across the front. It can come into contact here. It could get hot if the heater malfunctions. That's not very good at all. No. I thought this was asbestos. It's not. It's just a fibre board. It's probably been put on to reduce the noise coming from the furnace. Here's an air supply. It's coming from outside. It's blocked. Originally this would have been used to provide air to the furnace. Now it's drawing it from the attic, and we cannot tell whether we've got adequate ventilation or not. Wish I could get into this attic. This is the food disposal. It's in very poor condition. It's loaded up with debris. Listen. There's the water coming up here as the sink is blocked. All of this is pretty bad. You can see it's backing up, it's not draining properly. So this line is probably this. Oh look, we got an awful water leak here. It's leaking like a sieve. Yeah, and it's dropping on the electrical cables. Very dangerous.